Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great Monday so far, and as well as a great start to your work week. And today is February 10th, 2025, and in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about several winter storms that are going to be coming to the United States over the next few weeks, and these could bring a lot of impacts, as not only are we going to be seeing the potential for severe weather, but we'll also be seeing the potential for even some pretty big time storms, especially on the southern side of those systems that could lead to a little bit of flooding and maybe even some severe weather. So we will need to be watching that not only for the next couple of weeks, but we will also have one ongoing for the next couple of days that we'll have to be paying attention to. But before we get into today's forecast, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications, especially if you are new here, so that way you guys don't miss out on any future videos or live streams that we do on this channel. And if you haven't liked yet, make sure to also give this video a thumbs up, as those really do help out a lot as well. And make sure to also share this with any friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. I definitely appreciate it. But let's first start off by taking a look at the future radar using the European model, and you can see how we are going to be tracking a pretty big winter storm mainly across the lower Ohio Valley heading over there into the mid-Atlantic, especially over the next couple of days, including today, where some of these areas, especially a little farther to the west, will also likely start seeing some of that too as well. And that's just going to continue towards the mid-Atlantic even as we get into Wednesday of this week. So we will need to keep an eye on that system before even another big time winter storm rolls on through as we get into Thursday of this week, which will likely bring heavier snowfall to the north. And I'm actually glad we're seeing this winter storm, because places like Chicago have not seen very much snowfall this winter, guys. Most of the snowstorms that we have seen have either been trending north of Chicago or south of Chicago, but it looks like Chicago could finally see some pretty big snowfall with this first system as it rolls on through, including even the Detroit region, despite seeing some freezing rain from that. So we will need to watch that closely, as not only will this bring some very heavy snowfall, but we will also be even seeing the potential for some pretty big freezing rain as we get into Thursday. After that system heads out, and as we get into the beginning of next week, we could be tracking another winter storm that might be bringing some heavier snowfall across the northern part that's there of the Ohio Valley, pretty good portion there of the Great Lakes region, and as well as the Midwest. While on the southern side of that system, we pretty much will be seeing those chances for showers and thunderstorms developing, as we'll have plenty of energy surging on in from the Gulf of Mexico, which could potentially bring some chances for thunderstorms as far north as the lower Ohio Valley with this system, given the fact that that rain line is going to be setting up much farther to the north, as you can see. So this will be something to watch for as we get into Saturday, February 15th, but especially as we get into the beginning of next week. So we will keep an eye on that. After that heads out, maybe even another winter storm rolling on through, which could potentially bring not only some heavier rainfall, especially to those areas a little farther down south, but also some very heavy snowfall on the backside of that system, which could lead to a lot of inches. So this will definitely be something to watch for once again, especially as we get into Thursday, February 20th. But once again, we might even be seeing another shot of seeing a winter storm before that warm air, especially where you see those orange lines, could really start expanding northward, as you can see. And you can see that as we take a look at the temperature anomalies, as that warm air is just going to try to expand northward by the time we get into the end of this month, which is very common given the fact that we are getting closer to spring, which means that warm air is likely to expand more. So we will need to watch it closely as we get into the end of this month too, as well, as not only could we be tracking another winter storm or two, but seeing this warm air just expand could also create some pretty big impacts. So we'll watch it as we get into the end of our February, but I still expect things to change a lot as we get into the end of this month, as it's still over 10 days out. Now let's look at our total snowfall and also our total rainfall using the HRRR model. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the HRRR model to start, and you can pretty much see how that winter storm once again is going to be tracking right along the Ohio River and just going to continue to bring some impacts even as it heads over there into Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, even over there into Maryland, so especially the Mid-Atlantic area as we get not only throughout today and tomorrow, but even as we get into Wednesday, as you can see. And with your total snowfall, you guys can see how we are expecting to see some pretty good snowfall amounts. If we take a zoom in view on this, let's go ahead and select the Ohio Valley for this, and you can see how the Ohio Valley will see some pretty good snowfall, especially across the lower parts of it. We will likely be seeing anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snowfall across much of this region, maybe even some isolated totals over there in eastern Kentucky, up to 3 inches possible. So we will be watching that closely. And then these areas farther east into the Mid-Atlantic region might also need to keep an eye on this as well, as we might be seeing some isolated higher amounts of up to 6 inches. Maybe even a little bit higher amounts, even up there in DC. We'll have to see how this plays out, but it looks like it's mainly going to be Southern Virginia, Southern Delaware, Southern Maryland that all gets those opportunities for anywhere from 5 to 6 inches of snowfall, especially where you see those dark blues and even those purples, as there actually is a little bit showing up right there. So something to be paying attention to, like I said, over the next couple of days, as not only heavy snow but also freezing rain may be possible. As you can see, we aren't expecting the worst of freezing rain, but we could still be seeing some minor impacts, so we will be watching that closely, maybe even a little bit of isolated power outages in the higher elevations. And then of course these areas over there in the Ohio Valley aren't expecting much either, but we will once again need to keep an eye on it, as I do think some of these areas, even over there in eastern Kentucky, might see a little bit of freezing rain, but definitely not it looking like anything significant as of right now, and nor is that with sleet, so most of you guys should be fine. But once again, definitely something to take extreme precautions for, as I do think some minor travel impacts are looking likely, and like I said, maybe even some isolated power outages in the higher elevations especially, but not looking certain as of right now, as we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the system. But the least I can say though is that this will be impactful over the next couple of days, so make sure you are paying attention. Now, the last thing we're going to look at is going to be our temperatures, which I already had pulled up, thankfully. And you can see how we're still dealing with that cold air and also that warm air around. You guys can see how that warm air is going to try to push northward as that cold air is going to try to dig on down. That could lead to some severe weather as we get into Thursday, February 13th, because not only will we be seeing heavy snowfall in places like Chicago, because like I said, Chicago will thankfully see an opportunity for snowfall as we get into Thursday, but those areas farther down to the south, due to this warm moist air surging on in with this cold air colliding right behind it, we might be seeing opportunities for some severe storms. So we will need to be watching that closely, as we're going to have some pretty big cold air roll on through before even another big warm up rolls on through, with even another big cold shot rolling on through right behind it, maybe even a little bit stronger as well, with some areas maybe getting greater than 33 degrees below average. After that heads out, maybe even another big time cold shot rolling on through after that, possibly bringing anywhere from 20 to 25 degrees below normal, because you can see how we are on minus 23, which means 23 degrees below normal, especially where you see those dark blue colors, and then maybe even a big warm up after that, like I said, before we get into spring, which is common to see given the fact that we are getting pretty close to March. So once again, now would be a good time to be paying attention, as the rest of February is expected to be very active and kind of all over the place. place. So make sure to be ready, as this is definitely going to be a wild rest of February. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's forecast. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, make sure to do that, as we will continue to keep you guys up to date with the latest, and so that way you don't miss out on any future videos or live streams that we do on this channel. And I am thinking about releasing a spring forecast. I'm not sure if I will, because my tornado season forecast may be good enough, but if I do want to release one, make sure to click that notification bell down below, as I think I actually will, probably sometime in the next few weeks, just sometime before March. So now's a good time to like and click that notification bell, so that way you guys don't miss out on that. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to do those things, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and as well as a great start to your work week. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.